They let Mane go. They bring in Nunez.
Those still too early, but from what I saw, if that is what
He played against Manchester United, right? Yes. And you saw how
where he played a defensive header.
So for the first time, and out of the signings that Klopp has been doing, for me that is the worst that he's done.
Okay, hello ladies and gentlemen. It's another moment, it's another time. I welcome you again to the Football Fans Clan. Here we talk matters football around the world. Whatever happens around the football world, we react to it. Yeah, and that is who we are, the Football Fans Clan. Okay, here today I have my fellow classmates here. The old guy, Mwana Kamati.
Asante.
Hebu utakumbusha kamati naitwa nani? Kwanza wasai waache vitu Mwana Kamati and Enoch. Okay, before we endelee, this is a freestyle channel where we talk about football in a free way, in the way we feel comfortable, whichever way we feel comfortable, bila restrictions. We don't make news here, we don't report football news here, we react to the news about football. Okay. Today as we start, okay. Tuanza na wewe bro. Kwanza introduce yourself.
Thank you for kunikaribisha kwa hii platform.
Yeah.
The Football Fans. Kama jina ni Nicholas. Fan mkubwa wa Manchester, the great.
The great Manchester.
I'm happy to be
for the first time.
I'm happy to
be part of the Manchester United kwa hii panel. I hope at least sasa hii makasiriko kwa watu wa Manchester
itapunguka malizani. Kwa sababu hii timu ilikuwa inatuangusha.
Okay.
But at least
okay. And the usual guy here, Enoch.
Kama kawaida, Enoch hapa, shabiki mkubwa wa Arsenal. Sport to the sana, hata nikaribisha ndugu yangu wa Manchester. And the funny thing is, tangu wanze kushinda game juzi, na wasikie Ten Hag, I don't know Ten Hag or Ten Hag.
Ten Hag.
Sababu jezi zote wameamusha hebu team. I don't know what is special about it, but now the season is coming here. I don't know if they'll be receiving 10 or they'll be giving 10. Your guess is as good as mine.
Okay, let me be Hernandez Ronald Zola, the usual host. Okay, this week tumekuwa na a lot of big news about you. Which was your biggest news this week?
Jackets. Small players. You just bully them into doing things.
My biggest news for me na for my team ni ya leo. Tumechukua Lisandro.
Yeah.
Jana tulisign Eriksen. Hiyo ni experience. Lisandro pia ni talent. Tumesign pia Malaysia. Hiyo pia ni talent. So mimi sijui watu wa Arsenal wataingia wapi. Comment about the other teams. Chelsea wamechukua koulibally. Hiyo ni experience, hiyo ni a very strong pillar.
Yeah.
Wamechukua pia ule jamaa wa Haga. Sali. Ile pale I don't think kuna kitu anakuja kuongeza kwa ile team.
Umekuja na ubaya.
Yeah, nataka comment Arsenal. Actually of the teams zenye zimefanya signings, I must comment Arsenal. Kwa sababu Arsenal wamenunua, nimeona ni kama wamechukua zinchenko. Kale ni kijana kazuri. Tumemuona akicheza Man City, ile ni talent. Ule ni captain wa nchi yake. Ile ni talent. Pia wamechukua Jesus. Lakini pale kwa Jesus kidogo, sasa hii Jesus supply ya ball kwa Jesus ndio wafunge bao. Hatutaona De Bruyne. Hatutaona ule number 10.
Na amescore already 3 goals in the last 2 matches.
Against who? Against who? Arsenal wamefanya friendlies mbili. Against who?
Okay, bwacha hapo kwanza. Hii kesi ni yako. Against vitu zako.
Unajua at least mimi nikisema nimefunga bao, nimefunga against Liverpool. I can comfortably stand up and say hii nimegonga Liverpool kwa 4. What did you say? Umefunga nani? Umefunga nani?
Nunez is back. And he's back with a bang. Watu wamepiga reserve team ya Liverpool. Now they are here telling us how confidently confidently
You just call it a
confidently beaten Liverpool. But the point is, for Manchester, there's no need to talk about Manchester so much because he's talking about signing talent, signing addition, experience, talent. Nothing special. Eriksen has been here before we know him. So we know who he is. He's a good player. He used to play for Tottenham. He won nothing at Tottenham. You know that. You know that.
A point of correction.
No. He won
A point of correction.
at Tottenham. Tottenham is the team that we knew. So he used to play in a small team. Probably is now going where pressure is. And with his condition, which I don't want to talk about because it can happen to any other person, I don't think he's the Eriksen we knew before. Number 2.
Okay, wacha kupita kando kando. Ile kitu tunajaribu kumaanisha Manchester wamenunua scrap. Ni wewe hutaki kutamka.
Put it the way you want it. Now you put it open.
A point of correction.
Let me finish. Number 2 is talking about signing trade in Malaysia, who is a talent. Talking about Lisandro. Let me start with Lisandro.
Yeah.
There's a game we as the team Arsenal and I want to congratulate Arteta and Eddie Gasper. They played the game well. You see, we were in a battle for Rafinha before. Chelsea jumped, and they did all that. Now we came in for Lisandro. Manchester came in for Lisandro. I don't know what's wrong with their scouting because they want us to point out they go for the player. And we have pulled something strange for them which they didn't expect. And we need to do a comparison between Lisandro and Zinchenko because we signed Zinchenko on behalf of in the place of Lisandro. Lisandro is coming to be.
Lisandro is a centre half.
He was also coming as a defensive midfielder and also a backup for the central center, in the left center half. You see. Now we have Zinchenko who can still cover as in the midfield, and he can also play as a left. You see, the same quality, same player, but now Zinchenko here is better than Lisandro, given the price we signed with Zinchenko and the price we signed Lisandro. Oh, we can't debate about it. It means Arsenal are just.
Are you sure he's serious? Ukishindwa kufikia matunda
No, there's nothing. Truth be told, Lisandro has not played in the Premier League. Zinchenko is a proven Premier League player. He has played in the Champions League. He has won trophies at Man City. So it's nothing we know about him. He knows about Premier League. He knows about the Eriksen he's talking about. And you know what we can do. But anyway, let me give you hope. Before I end, let me give you hope. You are in the process of rebuilding a team. So let's talk after rebuild.
Aye. A point of correction first. You've just said that Eriksen, you've seen Eriksen, his condition, whatever you've just said.
No, let's not talk about condition.
Number 1, Eriksen has been playing for Brentford for the last season.
Yes.
Brentford is a team that just came from relegation. But it's if you bet on all the teams that came from relegation last season, you can give Brentford as the best team that if you're Kwanzaa, that Brentford, you know what it did to you on the first match of the season. You know very well. Then now they brings about when the season is almost halfway. Eriksen comes in. You see the effect he has brought. You've just seen what the essence of the team. You could structurally say this team is playing something. Whether they lose, whether they win, whether they draw, you could say Brentford is playing some kind of football. It was interesting to watch Brentford play. When you look at Eriksen at the middle, hapo kwa midfield, you could say at least something creative is happening there. He might not have had the best strikers he would want to play with. He might not would have to play the best defense to play with, but at least you could see the creativity in the middle. You could say he would give the strikers passes, he could create chances, then at least they would score 1 out of 10, and Brentford did quite some good job. Number 2, you just said something about Lisandro and Zinchenko. These are 2 people who played in different leagues. Number 1, before I started, I said I must give credit to Arsenal. They've gotten a good guy.
Yeah.
We've seen Zinchenko play. We've also seen Lisandro play.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to assure you, this is a young man who has come to a big team. This is a young man who wants to prove himself.
Yeah.
He's going in a defense where there is Maguire. He's going in a defense where there is Varane. He's going in a defense where there is Lindelof. You expect him to rise to the standards.
Did you mention Maguire?
Give me time, I talk. He's going to play in a team whereby there is standard. In a team that one of the best teams in the world. This guy must rise to the occasion. This guy must prove himself. So you don't expect what you saw when he was in Ajax to be the same thing you are coming to see now.
Yeah.
Number 2, he's coming to a team that is trying to rebuild themselves.
Yeah.
I'm accepting that my team has been the worst I ever seen. But at least we have a coach. We have a new coach. This coach brings in some experience. He brings in some new ideas that previously we didn't have. There is one thing I want to acknowledge. Manchester have had one disease. This disease is we are paying a lot of salaries, then there is no performance. We have diseases like Paul Pogba, who has just left. We have diseases like Matic, people who are just reluctant, people who are just there to be seen, just there to receive salaries.
And what gives you hope that maybe the sign you are making at this moment, they are not become a disease?
No, what the reason as to why I'm saying that is, number 1, we've changed the coach.
Yeah.
When a coach comes in, he comes with his new tactics. This coach wants to perform. Yeah. This coach is a performer. Yeah. We've seen him bring Ajax up to semi-finals for Champions League. So this is a coach who can perform. For instance, let me ask you a simple question. Previously we had Ole. What has Ole ever done in this world that you can say Ole has taken a team to semis, Ole has taken a team where? What has Ole done?
It was your appointment.
After Ole, we brought this other guy.
Rangnick.
Whatever it was. That's Nick something. That Nick something. What has Rangnick did in the previous football? Nothing.
Okay, you told us he was the coach of Thomas Tuchel.
Listen, just give me time.
Yes.
But now we are bringing in a coach whereby you can say this coach has done this and that. This is a coach who was promised before he came to that team. He sat down with the board. He agreed to the board that I'm bringing changes to this team. I'm coming to be a team, at least a team that can compete for trophies.
Yes.
I'm coming to get back the Manchester the glory they had before. So we expect the signings he's doing. Number 1, he's brought in Lisandro. Previously he was with Lisandro at Ajax. So we hope, and it is our wish, that whatever Ten Hag is bringing in is the kind of glory that we want. You know us. Definitely, you know we are very good when it comes to Manchester. We have a very good jersey. We hope this jersey when it comes. We hope that this when we are wearing this jersey, at least we'll have something. But remember, in our worst moments, we played against teams like Chelsea. They did nothing against us. So at least I pity some teams. We played against this thing called Arsenal. They are also trying to rebuild from their dust. But of course, at least I now think we'll graduate from where we were. Where we were with likes of Liverpool, likes of Tottenham, likes of Arsenal, likes of Wolves. We had downgraded.
Don't forget to West Ham.
We had downgraded to small teams, to middle table teams. But at least now I can assure you, I've seen the team play for 2 pre-season games.
Yes, how do you rate
We won all of them.
those 2 matches?
Number 1, we played against Liverpool. People might say we played against the second team for Liverpool, but I don't think Firmino is a second team player for Liverpool. I don't think people like Salah, I saw Salah play, whether he came later or not, but Salah was in that game. Okay,
There's something that's called locally here Jugi. Did you see Liverpool using the post 3 times?
I did see. I even saw Klopp post and say it was only a pre-season game. Anyway, for me, we are not building a team to be playing for instance, next season Manchester is playing in the Europa League. But one thing I'm telling you, the team that we are building, we don't care whether the team will play for Europa League and Liverpool is playing for Champions League.
Yes.
The moment we rebuild from scrap, the moment we rebuild from the list down there, now the team that comes in, for instance, let me give you an example, Manchester City. When today you play against Team B for Manchester City, you feel as if you are playing with the Team A.
Talking of City, we've seen Zinchenko leave.
Yes.
Jesus.
Yes.
Sterling.
Yes.
Do you think it'll be the same Manchester City of next season?
Of course.
Yes.
I think I need to respond to a few things here and there. And one, I want to, for the first time I've met a very honest Manchester United fan. And I think this guy, you're not just a fan, but something else. True, that is not a team that other fans are telling us that is going to compete. This is a team that is undergoing rebuild. Number 2, I totally want to agree with him that they are bringing in a coach who has not experienced Premier League, but is coming to do try and error. If it works out,
Not really.
we don't know.
Not really.
If it does work out,
Not really try
it'll be
and
good.
error.
But they are hopeful that it will work out. Number 3, Ten Hag is a coach who is used to working with young players. And I know through the rebuild process, that's why you see him buying the likes of Tigre in Malaysia, the likes of Lisandro and all that. So I think I would advise Manchester United fans to be like my good brother, the rest to be like my good brother. They should not have pressure. Let them go back, let them allow them time. Even if they finished position 10, 11, 12, and they tried something in the Europa and these other cups, it will be a good achievement for them. But there's nothing much to expect from Manchester United. Having said that, signing Lisandro Martinez, signing Eriksen, and Eriksen is an experienced player. I don't want to dispute that.
And almost bringing in Dijon. Don't forget.
But now, that's where my problem
Don't
is.
forget.
That is now where my problem is.
Don't forget we are bringing
That
in
is now where my problem is. Where should you bring in Dijon? What is he coming to do when you have Bruno Fernandes? You have now Eriksen. You have they have some good number of players around that within that position.
Pastor Fred.
They have Pastor Fred in the DM who will be deputized by Lisandro Martinez. And I never told you that Lisandro Martinez is a shorter defender. And you know what Premier League means with the heading with the
We have Maguire.
Oh, Maguire is the reason you
have Maguire and the run to cover up.
And you see, as much as they are making changes, the only thing that gives any other team confidence against Manchester United is because they have Maguire.
I want to add something on Maguire. I want to totally disagree with the new coach that we've just brought. In the past week or 2, we had a debate that Manchester were choosing a captain, person. So we hoped, and it was our wish, that at least that armband be given to a leader. We all agree, and I want now I am a fan. Yeah. I'm a big supporter of Manchester United for quite some good years. But one thing we all agree, even for the rival teams, Maguire is not a leader. Manchester United needed leaders like likes of Ferdinand, likes of West Brown, likes of Wayne Rooney. People who, when they were had the hampered in them, they could die for that team. People, when they had that hampered, that guy would do anything just for that team. But Maguire has just lost the ball. Maguire is just running and lifting up his hands, or rather he just falls down. Then with all that, now this coach we've just brought in just tells us that we want to give the hampered back to Maguire. For me, that was not one of the best things that I expected from him, and I wish Maguire does some 1, 2, 3 blunders in the first 2, 3 games, so that hampered is given to somebody else. At least.
But in the last match, I think he made a blunder. The last
he did, but now this time he's doing that blunder. Maybe it's something we just speculate it can happen, but then he's doing a blunder under new coach. Whoever we had before the season ended was a caretaker coach. He was not somebody who we were expecting to be given the fullest.
Who do you think should be regular starting defenders for Manchester?
Instead of Maguire, we can use for our defense, instead of playing Maguire. Actually, I even thought Maguire would sell Maguire or give even for free. Instead of Maguire, we can have a defense with Varane, Lindelof, Shaw, and Lisandro. At least they can cover up. Then Maguire thing is out of the team.
Okay, I asked you a question about City.
Yes. Yeah, you asked me about a question about Man City. We all agree. Man City had at least 2 very strong teams. What Man City have just done, Man City have left Sterling, Raheem. They have let Jesus. Then they've let Zinchenko to Arsenal. Now, Man City have also done some signings. For instance, they brought in place of Jesus. They brought in Alan. So when you compare the two, there's no way you can even compare the two. Jesus is a striker, a central striker who was just coming up, not yet proven. He was just trying because he had very good suppliers in the midfield.
Okay, you think they are
Man City are the best team. Man City is a team to watch next season.
Before we continue, let me just debunk this thing that this gentleman is talking about. Jesus is coming up, proven. Jesus is a proven Premier League striker.
I want to ask you a question.
Let me finish.
Let me just ask you a question before you continue. Just a minute. I want to ask you a question.
Number 2, these people they kept it in their minds like we do not have a creative player in Arsenal to supply Jesus with the balls to score goals. It has happened in the last 2 months. We've signed, we have Odegaard, who was
but we already talked about Arsenal. We are talking about City. Let's just talk about
Arsenal. You see, we cannot just go past this. We cannot just go past this. When you say Jesus is coming in, there's no degree. Jesus is coming in, there's no David Silva.
It's okay. It's okay.
We're telling you we have Vieira, we have Odegaard, we still have creativity in Smith Rowe, we still have Bukayo Saka. All these guys.
I want to ask him a simple question. I want to ask him a simple question.
But we have to close this.
Just a minute. Just for a minute. Just a simple question. Compare Kevin De Bruyne and David Silva and Riyad Mahrez. They are now supplying the ball to Jesus to score. Jesus scores 18 goals in a season. So, then now on the other side, we have Vieira, we have Bukayo Saka, and we have Martin Odegaard supplying the ball to Jesus to score. On a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate the Arsenal team supplying for Jesus and the Manchester City team supplying for Jesus? If in City he scores 18 goals with that kind of supply, and now he's in Arsenal, he's expected to score 5 goals. At most 5 goals. At most. Because we've seen this Arsenal. Now, let me give you another reason I think Jesus might not perform so well in Arsenal. I'm giving you time.
But be quick.
We saw Arsenal score. We saw Arsenal at the end of the season. Arsenal had an upper hand to finish top 4. But out of the normal Arsenal that we knew, they just followed up their brothers. They said they cannot play when Manchester United is not playing. They came to Europa League. So this is an Arsenal that we know. This is an Arsenal that we've seen play. We don't expect anything new with Arsenal. We don't expect anything. Anyway, the reason as to why Jesus is in City, he just followed up his old friend, his former coach, assistant coach, Mikel Arteta. Nothing is coming to do there. We don't expect to see anything.
Let's make it very clear.
Okay, so just 1 minute on that.
Not even I'm responding to Gabriel Jesus is a proven Premier League striker. The reason why he didn't score 20 and above goals in Manchester City was not very regular. At least he played lesser matches. With him coming to Arsenal and having more matches to play, we expect him to surpass 20 plus goals. You see, we've had luck as we finished in the top. We finished in the top 5, yeah? Top 5 teams with a striker of the caliber of Lacazette, with whatever we had. So on what you said on a scale of 1 to 5, where do I rate these guys? I'm telling you, Jesus is going to perform playing regularly at Arsenal unless he gets injured. Then he's going to score more than he scored while at Manchester City.
We wait and see.
Just watch this guys.
We wait and see.
Okay, the next thing, Chelsea signing Koulibally and Sterling.
Let me start. For me, Chelsea signing Koulibally, that is a nice signing. He comes to get to at least to close the gap that was left by Rudiger, Anthony. Koulibally is good. Koulibally has played in Africa. We've seen him playing for Senegal. We've seen him play for Napoli. He's a good guy. He's a guy that almost all the big teams in England wanted at some point. Manchester wanted him. At some point, Liverpool were following up. At some point, Chelsea were following up for quite some time now. They've now signed him. So for me, that is a credit to Chelsea. About Sterling, I don't expect much for Sterling. Number one, because the reason why I don't expect much for Sterling, the system that Man City plays and the system that Liverpool plays.
Chelsea. It's Liverpool, yeah.
Sterling is a former player for Liverpool.
I get it.
So the system that Liverpool plays, the system that Man City plays, those are teams that play a system that a fast game. Now he's coming to Chelsea. This Chelsea that is coming in is Chelsea that doesn't rush on board. They have to keep it fast. He has to go to the goalkeeper, from goalkeeper now to the midfield, from midfield to defense. I don't see Sterling doing a lot in Chelsea. I think he's just a place he has come to finish his career. I don't think he's doing much.
Retiring.
Yes, I don't think he will do much in Chelsea. As far as I'm concerned, Sterling at some point, no. But Koulibally, he has a bright future.
Then I have a...
Let me also make my comments on Koulibally and probably Sterling. I can't agree more with you on Sterling. I don't see anything new that Sterling is going to change. That one they just expect the Sterling will leave for Manchester City. If he performs, lucky enough,
6-5 goals per season.
But I love some contrary opinion about Koulibally. Koulibally is a good defender. Fine, he has been followed up with a different whatever. But you know, this is now Premier League. This is not Serie A.
Sure.
Koulibaly, against the teams he played against Liverpool. You saw what Salah
did to him.
Koulibaly played, I think there's a time they played against this other team, they played against in the Premier League. And you saw how he found it very difficult playing against the Premier League strikers. So in the Premier League, that's totally a different game. Now we need to see he either adapts. Now the difference will be if he adapts faster to the Premier League. But if he does not adapt, for Chelsea fans, we are sorry. That's it might be a flop. It might be a flop. I'm not sure, but it might be a flop.
Okay, for me, on this Koulibally thing, I just don't think we needed Koulibally. At 31. Then see Napoli. Napoli is just like a West Ham of England.
Exactly.
Then you're taking somebody like Koulibally from a team like Napoli that can't win anything in the Serie A to the Premier League at the age of 31. I don't think it was a really good sign.
You just put it like taking Lingard, taking him to West Ham. He will perform better than he will
when he is in Manchester.
For Koulibally, I can agree 100%. My expectations are very low. If he performs well, we looked down on Silva, but Silva came out performing excellently well. But I don't think Koulibally is Thiago Silva. But anyway,
Sterling.
For Sterling, I think it's a good signing. If you see the kind of wingers Chelsea has, like Hakim Ziyech, surely. Can you compare Hakim Ziyech to Sterling? You can't.
There were rumors. Initially, I had like Ziyech wanted to leave Chelsea.
Yeah, for Milan.
for Milan, and I think that prompted Tuchel to think
to have an option in case this guy leaves. I then have this option
because I'm sure.
But he'll still leave.
What I think, if he will be there this season, then he might not be there next season. And Sterling would have easily replaced him, or there will be no void, even if they bring in another younger player.
The effect is more or less the same. When you compare the two, okay, when you compare the two,
but I
there
think
is no
Chelsea is
big
going
difference.
for another defender. They wanted Ake, but Ake, because Zinchenko has left now, Ake I think will stay at City.
Yeah, sure.
I think they are asking for Kimpembe. But for me, I think Kimpembe is just a black Maguire. But anyway.
No, you can't compare Kimpembe to Maguire. Kimpembe is a good defender. Kimpembe, you look at what he does. Kimpembe plays for the team. Wholeheartedly.
Yes.
You see,
He plays for the bench.
he plays for it. Even if he has to get a red card,
He'll
but
get
save
it
that
while
money, get it for
doing.
the team.
Yeah.
If he plays for the badge, he was playing for the badge of PSG. We don't know whether he might play for the badge of Chelsea.
That's what my brother said. There are people who are like a disease in a team.
Yeah.
But there are people you sign, they come with all those.
They bring the
qualities.
effect.
They bring the effect. You see, like Manchester United. You see, when you were talking about the badge, I even thought they would give it to Bruno Fernandes.
That is what we
Because Bruno,
majority of us
you look at
expected.
Bruno with his attitude and all he wants. He's a guy.
That
who
is the
wants to
kind of
win.
captain
He's a guy
a
who's
team
always
wants.
pushing himself.
Yeah, sure.
You see, now if you're on the forecourt pushing yourself for the team, the rest of the team will stand out for you.
Yeah.
You see.
Guys, I want us to talk about one team that, as we are maybe approaching the end of this season, just the season that has ended.
Yes.
It was a tough team. We are expecting so much from Newcastle United. What is happening? Newcastle is not in the market. We don't hear something coming from Jensen
They've done a good signing, and I think they are following up on someone. You cannot underrate them. At the moment, I'm telling you, Newcastle is a team to watch going forward. With the Bruno Guimaraes, that was you see, he changed the team. Just that one signing of Bruno changed the team. And I think they are following up on somebody. I'm not sure about the name. From Lille or Lyon.
What I think, Newcastle is a good team. It's a good that poses challenge when it comes to especially the big teams. At least when Liverpool and Man City are going for the season, are going for the Premier League, and they know there is a game between them and Newcastle. It's a team that might frighten a big team. But then there is a disease that I might call it disease. It might not be necessarily disease, but there are teams which will always want to be at the middle. That team will never make an effort to go to the top. Will never make an effort to drop. That team just wants to be there. That team just wants to be there. I think Newcastle is owned by these guys who own Man City. And at some point, these guys, they are more of a profit-making people. So for me, what they want at Newcastle, at some point you heard that Newcastle will play, will sign players like when they bought it, like this guy for Brazil, this number 10, Neymar. They are bringing in so big names, but then that story went down. So for me, Newcastle is just a team that wants to be in the Premier League. They doesn't want to drop. They doesn't want to improve. So it's just a team that wants to be there. Then there is another team that, for me, I think it will be a team that poses some Southampton.
Okay, as you answer that, I want me to tell me the one or three teams that you think they will be the spoilers of this coming season. We had Brentford last season.
Yeah.
We had Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
And somehow Wolves and West Ham. Who do you think is going to take that position?
For me, expect some stiff competition from West Ham. West Ham is a team that is doing quite well. It's a team that has a good coach. When you compare him with the kind of a game, the level of West Ham, he's a middle level coach. He's a good coach for them. So West Ham will pose some challenge. As usual, Wolves quite, they normally stretch. Wolves is a team that you expect to do quite some good job. Then of the 3 teams that have come to the Premier League, expect one to pose challenge. I wouldn't say which, but out of the 3, one will be a good team to watch.
I look forward to, of course, Crystal Palace with Patrick Vieira and his coaching style and how he does things, his managerial skills, and also with the experience he got with Manchester City. You see, like people who worked for Manchester City under Pep Guardiola, they are doing good. I also look at Newcastle. You cannot underwrite them because the power of money, and I believe they are going to pay players well. So, but being a mid-table team, that's the mentality. For Moyes with his West Ham, they'll continue being there. Moyes used to be there with Everton. He tried Manchester, a big mentality team. He flopped. So with West Ham, he's still okay. But I expect Wolves to drop. I also expect a threat from Leicester. With Brendan Rodgers, is also a very good coach who likes competing, not winning, competing. Per se, he competes and he wants to be in better books, in better positions, and all that so that he can survive. For the upcoming teams, West Brom, you remember, used to be a giant killer.
Yeah, sure.
So we got him to watch.
Okay, as we close, I just want you to, according to your opinion, Paul, tell me who do you think will win the league? Who do you think will take the Golden Boot? Who do you think will take the Golden Glove? In a minute as we close.
Okay, for me, I'll give you the top 4 for Premier League. As far as I'm concerned, Man City will retain the league. Man U will be number 2. Liverpool will be number 3. Then Chelsea might finish 4th.
What is your methodology?
For the Golden Boot, I would give it to. Erling Haaland. There is no way I can just give it to Jesus. Jesus might not even be in the top 5 best strikers. So
remember,
Erling Haaland is a guy who has scored goals. He's a guy who is playing good football. So we expect him to come and do good. For the glove, in as much as I'm an opponent, in as much as I don't like other rival teams, in as much as I wouldn't want it to happen, but I must acknowledge Chelsea as a good goalkeeper. They have all it takes. When you look at the striker they've just signed, he's a guy who they play together. He's a guy I expect he will command from the posts and he will do good. So I expect Mendy to go with the Golden Glove.
Okay. Which language do Senegal people speak?
French.
The local one.
Okay, English. They also do English.
Yes. But apart from that, being a Kenyan, maybe ungekuwa naongea Kijaluo ama Kiluya, unafikiria koulibally?
Before you get there, let me finish with what you asked, just to make.
But hebu malizia haraka.
For top 4, to Manchester. Let's get Manchester out of top 4. If it happens, then it's a miracle. We thank God for it. Top 4. I also still feel it will be for the league. It will be a race between Liverpool and Manchester City.
Who to be specific?
To be specific, I see Manchester City still retaining the league.
We agree on that together.
I see Arsenal coming third. I'm a fan of Arsenal, but I see us coming third. Most importantly, we want to play Champions League next season, so we might finish between third and fourth. But third is a good position because So the fourth team will be either Tottenham or Chelsea or Manchester. They'll decide themselves depending on how they play. They'll have to choose. For Golden Boot, give it to Jesus. For Golden Glove, I would wish it to be with Mendy, but I want to give it to Ramsdale.
Okay. Okay, give it to Ramsdale. Let's see.
There's something I wanted us to comment before we conclude. Liverpool signed a player.
Exactly.
Liverpool signed a player.
Nunez.
Darwin. What do you think about Darwin? What do you think?
They
let Mane go. They bring in Nunez.
Those still too early, but from what I saw, if that is what
he played against Manchester United, right? Yes. And you saw how
where he played a defensive header.
So for the first time, and out of the signings that Klopp has been doing, for me that is the worst that he's done. For me, that is, we don't expect much impact.
According to him,
though he still has fittings. You can get Nunez on the bench, then have Salah, have Firmino, then have either Jota or Diaz.
Yeah.
So he can still do with that. He still has options.
But one thing you should know,
you
wouldn't want to bring him. You wouldn't want to bring him with the kind of money he has brought him. Then he is benched. That you don't expect.
I think it will take him time.
Let's close this. Let's close this. Okay, thank you for watching. Let's do this again next time. Keep watching, keep following us, subscribe, like, share, comment, and you can also follow us on our social media.